There you are, walking down the street, enjoying a beautiful day, when you cross paths with someone who's kind to you, but you're not quite friends, you're just friendly to each other, you know. And every time you see this lady, you just feel inspired. You see, she wasn't dealt a fair hand at birth. In fact, she was actually born without a left arm. But that didn't stop her. She always helped as much as she could. And to top it off, she wasn't mad at God because she was different. She embraced it and just let it be what it was. She truly was the embodiment of wholesome. You continue walking past her, giving a smile and say hello, just thinking about how much better everyone would be if we were all even half as cheerful as she was. Howdy, and welcome back to another episode of the Sanctified Podcast, the show where we explore the stories of various saints throughout history and learn about what they did and how we came to recognize them as saints today. Today, we're going to explore the life of Saint Carmen Rendiles Martinez, one of Venezuela's first saints, and a woman who didn't let anything get in the way of her love for her faith. Carmen Rendiles Martinez was born August 11th, 1903 in Caracas, Venezuela. And right off the bat, she started life with an extra challenge. She was born without a left arm. She was the third oldest of 7 kids, and her parents, Ramiro Antonio Rendiles and Ana Antonia Martinez, were very religious. The family placed a crucifix at the center of the table during meals and recited the rosary together every evening. Ramiro and Ana got Carmen a prosthetic arm as soon as they could, but it certainly wasn't easy and it wasn't terribly functional. It served a basic purpose, and Carmen and her family were very grateful for it. Even from a young age, Carmen felt just connected very closely with God. She didn't let any anger or frustration about her arm get in the way of her love for her faith, though it is in human nature to just be a little frustrated from time to time. Even though things don't always go perfectly, that doesn't mean you're not loved. Just because someone forgets your birthday or forgets your anniversary doesn't mean they don't love you. I'm sure we've all forgotten somebody's birthday at some point, but we know we still love them. And Carmen knew that God still loved her. When she was 15, she became a catechist at her parish, and she went on little mini missions to other nearby towns to help and teach others. As she continued down this path, she felt the calling to be wholly devoted to God more and more. Finally, in 1927, she joined the congregation of the Servants of Jesus of the Blessed Sacrament. And this was after some missionaries had actually just visited, and she understood that to be a sign from God to finally devote herself. And at this time, she also took the name Maria Carmen. After joining, she traveled to Toulouse, France, where the congregation was based. And when she finished and took her vows, September 8th, 1932, she went right back home to Caracas and lived in a convent there for the next decade. While at the convent, she helped out with various odd jobs. Pretty much if anyone needed help for anything, she offered a hand. She helped teach the kids, she helped with meals, she helped with chores, she genuinely helped with everything. She didn't use her prosthetic arm as an excuse to not do work. She just found ways to work around it. And then, in 1951, her commitment was rewarded with her being named the provincial superior for the region. She started many new convents and schools while in this position, not just in Venezuela, but also in Colombia. She even converted her own childhood home to a school for poor children. Her generosity was just never ending. If she could give more to somebody or donate something that somebody needed, she wouldn't hesitate to do so. And this was just what Carmen dedicated her life to. She wanted to be able to help others with building a better life, as well as bringing them closer to God along the way. She was achieving 2 goals with 1 act. All this work was building to something greater, though, and that culminated in 1965. But before I get to what that was, I need to cover one quick thing. Carmen thought that she and her sisters needed to separate from the overall congregation. They had grown so much and could accomplish so much more if they were their own autonomous entity instead of needing to check in with the congregation's leaders back in France. Additionally, the congregation had kind of fundamentally changed how it operated. Carmen felt that it wasn't the same as when she had initially joined. So in 1961, she began to seek approval to be separated from the Servants of Jesus of the Blessed Sacrament. She wrote to multiple authorities in the church, priests, bishops, cardinals, really anyone who could support her. She reached out to them. And finally, In 1965, she received the papal approval she was seeking. Carmen founded the Servants of Jesus of Caracas, which focused on helping those in need, providing an education to those who couldn't otherwise get it, helping underprivileged youth, and just spreading the love of the Lord all throughout. She led her new congregation until her death May 9th, 1977, just 12 years later, from the flu. Her cause for beatification and subsequent canonization began in 1995. She was beatified June 16th, 2018, and the miracle that was proven and attributed to her, the healing of a woman in Caracas in 2003. This woman was suffering from a constant pain in her arm that was the result of electrocution in her right hand. She tried everything to get the pain to go away and to be able to use her hand like she used to, but nothing worked. She prayed for Carmen's intercession, and her hand was miraculously healed. A team of doctors discussing with theologians determined that there was really no, quote, normal explanation, at least not to normal doctors. And so it was determined to be a true miracle. While this miracle was receiving its recognition, Carmen's second miracle was already underway, or at least the second miracle that was being used for her canonization. Another woman from this area was in trouble. She was diagnosed with idiopathic triventricular hydrocephalus in 2015. Her brain was swollen from accumulation of cerebrospinal fluid. She had surgery completed for a bypass valve, but it malfunctioned after a few years, and on May 3rd, 2018, she went back to the hospital. She was showing signs of brain damage, but the doctors replaced her valve and released her 1 week later, which to me seems pretty nonchalant for something so severe. Like, imagine you're having issues with your brain and it's causing severe pain and inhibiting what you're able to accomplish. The doctors do a little work, stitch you back up, and they're like, all right, see you later. Like, just a couple of days later, like, I'd be questioning if those doctors were really good. But just a couple of days after she was released, she started to get worse. She lost consciousness and was taken back into the hospital in a vegetative state. They monitored her, but didn't really do much else. They released her 2 months later, even though she showed no major signs of recovery. The woman's aunt visited Blessed Carmen's tomb and prayed for her intercession to heal her niece. Later, she even brought her niece to the tomb and prayed with her there, along with other sisters of Carmen's order, who encouraged her to touch a painting of Carmen. And right after this visit, the woman showed significant signs of healing. Just a few short months later, she was able to walk and talk again, and she said she wanted to go to Carmen's tomb to thank her. She managed to get to the tomb with some assistance because she wasn't 100% healed, but she was healed enough to do it without too much assistance. Now, she's totally healed, and she shows no signs of the condition that she used to have. Carmen was canonized just this past October on the 19th, along with 6 others whom I have other episodes about. Well, I have episodes about 5, she's 6th, and then 7th will be next week. Her feast day is May 9th, and though she isn't formally the patron saint for the order she founded, I think it's only a matter of time before it's made official. Carmen was canonized alongside Jose Gregorio Hernandez, and the two are Venezuela's very first saints. And next week's episode is going to be Jose's story. And I realized that talking about Carmen's life is pretty brief. It's not like she lived a super crazy life. She did what she felt was right. She helped people. She joined causes that she felt called to join. And if something just felt wrong, or if she felt she needed to change something in order to help people, she did it. She didn't go out of her way, make big deal about stuff. She just lived a normal life. It's not every saint that has an incredible story during their life. Many, many saints are fairly simple people when you examine their life. They did great things. They faced their challenges. They overcame them. And they got to where they are today just from being themselves and from embracing the love that God has for everybody. So just kind of remember, if you ever feel like you're not doing enough, if you feel like you need to do more, but you just can't muster the strength, it's okay. What really matters is that you just don't walk away. If you have times where your faith is a little weaker, but you come back to it, that's the important thing. You came back to God. Just abandoning him altogether, that's what you want to avoid. We'll all get hard times in our lives, just like Saint Carmen Rendiles Martinez had, but she overcame them and she did great things, even though she led a fairly simple life. Keep it simple and you'll go a lot further than you probably expect. If you have any questions about Saint Carmen's life, please let me know and I'll do my best to answer them. So what are your thoughts of Saint Carmen Rendiles Martinez? Isn't it really just incredible that she had that birth defect, but instead of being angry at God, she embraced helping others and bringing them closer to God? I hope you found her story interesting and inspiring because it's really cool. I look forward to learning your thoughts on Saint Carmen Martinez, and thank you for listening. If you'd like to support the channel, you can subscribe, download the episode, like, comment, share it with your friends, or send me a suggestion on a saint to check out by emailing me at sanctifiedpodcast@proton.me. You can find the show on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Music, Amazon Music, Podbean, and more. Just search for the Sanctified Podcast and you should find some episodes. Take care and have a wonderful day.